It's the holiday season. And I feel like I need to do my civic duty and remind y'all, the scammers is out, bro. Christmas is around the corner. The scammers is, I don't even know why I got my hand over my chest, my hand up. But anyway, I got to remind y'all, the scammers is out, bro. Be careful. So we're going to check out some things to remind y'all that, bro, they will take advantage of anybody and do anything. This video is scammers caught in the act.
This video has people absolutely furious. This man had been crawling around the streets of China for days, and over those days, he had collected hundreds of dollars of donations. People felt very sympathetic for the man. He said he was homeless and had no money, and if this man's life wasn't hard enough, he also had no legs, having lost them to a workplace accident many years ago. Because of this, many good-hearted people felt bad for the man, and gave him sometimes all the money they had. But there were two problems. This man was not homeless, and he also wasn't disabled. Four friends had noticed this while walking around, so they hatched a plan, with one of them filming the man while the other subtly stands in the cloth he's wrapped his legs in. Many homeless people are ignored and not looked at very closely, and this fake beggar used that fact to his advantage. When his scam is finally revealed, he picks up his board and runs away. The video soon went viral on social media, meaning this man had no choice but to end his nasty scam. A scam that took hard-working people's money, and took money away from real homeless people who may actually be disabled. But an even more outrageous and shameless scammer is this woman. One day in Jinhua City, China, a man was driving down a road. That's when he sees a woman running towards his car. He thinks she may be in danger, so slows down. But that's when the woman falls to the floor. The driver is seriously concerned for this woman's well-being. But when other people don't seem to react to what the woman's doing, the driver gets suspicious, backing his car up just in case. And that's when the woman's sinister motive is revealed. She gets up as if nothing happened, sprints over to the man's car and begins to hit his bonnet, all while the man continues to back up. The woman then lays down once again, before getting back up to continue kicking and hitting this man's car. By this time, the driver knew exactly what was going on. This woman was attempting to carry out an insurance scam, acting as if she had been hit by this man's car, completely unaware of the fact that this was all being recorded by the man's dashcam. But the driver does not fall for this woman's tricks, which causes her to get up and yell at the man, accusing him of driving into her. After over a minute of this, the woman's scene attracts a cop, who has seen much of this incident take place. In front of shocked onlookers, the woman pretends to be injured, walking with a fake limp and lying on the ground, but then gets up and kicks the car right in front of the cop. The woman is clearly shameless, and is clearly angry that her scam is not working. When she realizes this, she runs off, causing the driver to speed off too, likely worried his car may be even more damaged.
And I know y'all thinking like, darn, bro, like she couldn't be like, she'll move right on to the next car, bro. Like, you think she would learn her lesson after that? No. She'll go right to the next street, find the next car, and do it till she thinks she's successful. Like, what do y'all think should be the consequence for something like that?
After this was posted online, many condemned the woman, pointing out that this scam might have worked if the man left his car, or if he didn't have a dashcam mounted. But people were even more critical of the cop, who seemed to stand around and let this woman damage this man's car, despite the fact that she was clearly not injured and could walk just fine. Insurance scams are very common in China, and often result in a big payday for the scammers. But thankfully, not this time. But an even more heartless scammer has to be this man. If you've ever been to Manila, Philippines, you may recognize this man. For many years, this man was a well-known beggar. He would sit in the same spot every day for years, asking generous people for money and oftentimes getting it. Many felt bad for this man because he clearly has only one leg, claiming that he'd lost it after a work injury. But one night, when he thought no one was watching, the man walked away. A man named Jay saw this and couldn't believe his eyes. So the next day went to confront this man, and that's when this happened.
Pakita mo, tayo ka nga.
The man unfolds his tracksuit, revealing that he has two intact legs. The man ran away before police were called, but Jay later posted this to Facebook, with the video soon going viral in Manila, meaning that this heartless man will never be able to scam anyone again.
Yeah, y'all think he won't be able to, bro? You think he ain't going somewhere else to do that? Man, please, that ain't gonna stop him. And the reason why I say that, look up how much some of these scammers make. It's disgusting, bro. It'll disgust you when you figure out how much some of these jokers make. They make more than a lot of people going to work at a 9 to 5. I kid you not. Kid you not.
Because of this man's scam, many real homeless people would have missed out on donations. The average salary in Manila is only $400 per month, meaning that this man was taking money from people who already don't have much. The scammers we've seen so far definitely have been shameless and selfish, but some are just plain scary. One day a woman was driving in rural China. That's when she sees a man flag down her car. Naturally, as he's standing in the road, the woman slows down, but this soon proves to be a big mistake. The man is not subtle whatsoever, grabbing the woman's windshield wiper and holding up money, showing her exactly what he wants. That's already scary for a lone woman on a quiet road, but the unsettling thing is, this man seems to be enjoying what he's doing, smiling and laughing as he tries to scam this woman.
已经坏了，已经坏了。
The woman shows courage, telling the man to get off her car, and that's when the man gets angry,
已经坏了。
pulling and breaking the woman's wiper, with an unsettling smile on his face the entire time. But impressively, this woman does not back down,
我没有啊。
telling the man to get lost and go somewhere else. The man is furious. He is much bigger than the woman, and you can hear the fear in her voice. But after some time, the man does move, and looks around for his next victim. The fact this man is holding money means he likely has done this already today. The people before likely did cave, giving this man money simply to get him to go away. This must have been a terrifying experience for the woman, as there's really no telling how far this man might have gone in order to get money. The footage was sent to the police, but it's not known if this man was ever found, and there's a good chance this man may still be out there doing this scam today. From the clips we've seen,
Again, if this doesn't like show y'all that this is a reason for you to have a dash cam, I don't know what will, bro. You should go run out if you don't have one and buy one, bro. It can protect you in some of these situations, man.
it's clear police are not great at catching scammers. But what happens when the scammers are the police themselves? This was the case in December of 2023. A Dutch motorcycle YouTuber named Itchy Boots was making a motorcycle travel vlog in Nigeria. But while she was riding down a rural road, she gets pulled over. And that's when things go bad.
How is for everything?
Everything is fine.
Family.
Huh?
How's family?
Good.
Family is good.
The police pull her over and at first pretend to be friendly. They're shocked to see a woman riding a motorcycle in this area, but their fake friendliness soon disappears as the police begin to openly extort the woman for money.
Oh, yeah, give me something. Oh, yeah, give me something, huh? Give me something. Give me money. Money. Money.
Money. Why?
The woman asks the officers why, and after this it seems like they give up, allowing her to go on her way. Itchy Boots later posted this to her YouTube channel, with the video racking up nearly 9 million views. This was a massive embarrassment for the Nigerian police, and after a few days, the two corrupt cops in the video were tracked down. They were arrested and publicly fired. These scammers clearly were not very sophisticated, failing to notice the various cameras Itchy Boots had on her motorcycle and helmet. But an even less sophisticated scammer might be this man in China. One day in the city of Nanning, China, a bus stopped as normal. That's when a man jumps on the ground in front of the bus, pretending to fall on the bus various times, all while baffled onlookers watch. The person most concerned was the bus driver, who asked the man what was happening. However, the man did not reply. Two cops then see the situation unfold, and thankfully take the bus driver's side, telling the scammer that if he doesn't stop, he will be arrested. This was later posted on Chinese social media, with people saying the man was a poor worker who needed more money. The man may well be poor, but obviously scamming is no way to make money. However, not all scammers are poor. Take this woman, for example. For about 10 months, this woman could be seen on Fifth Avenue in New York almost every single day, standing in the same place on Fifth Avenue for hours and hours. On the surface, she seemed like an elderly woman on crutches, holding an empty coffee cup that contained just a few pennies. But one day, a man on Fifth Avenue stood and watched this woman for some time, and realized there was more to this woman than what meets the eye. Whenever anyone put money into this woman's cup, she would empty it into a handbag, leaving just a few pennies inside the cup, making it seem as if she was not getting any money, when in reality she was getting around 50 donations per hour, earning her anywhere from $50 to a few $100s per hour. After rumors about this began to spread online, 2 undercover journalists began filming this woman. They waited until night and followed her, and that's when they saw something that made their jaws drop. The woman gets into a minivan, and when she got out, she was no longer an elderly woman on crutches. Instead, she was young and healthy. She was no longer using crutches, and was now wearing an expensive outfit, looking more like a Fifth Avenue shopper than a beggar. Journalists even caught her going on a shopping spree, likely using the donations from previous days. The next day, the woman went back to her scam, but this time was confronted by the journalists.
We've been watching you the last few days, and you don't really need those crutches, do you? We saw you this morning walking perfectly fine. The jig is up. Why don't you just walk normally like you did this morning?
The scammer did not talk to the journalist, walking away instead. But after her scam was revealed on TV, she was never seen in the same spot again. Pretending to be an elderly homeless woman, while really being young with a car and a house, is really low. But
Now, my question is, should this be, if it's not already, because I don't know, but should this be a crime? I would like to think so, right? What she did and how she did it, and the deceiving, the taking, the scamming, that should be a crime. That she goes to, because if not, she's not gonna stop. No news reporter with a camera and a microphone is gonna stop her. She's making too much money. She just set up shop somewhere else on another block. And she's gonna get that sympathy. They know how to tug on our heartstrings.
an even richer scammer is this woman. One day in San Diego, many motorists were filled with empathy. They saw a young, pregnant woman standing with her son, with a sign saying that she was hungry and needed money for her kids. She would stand in the same place with her kid getting money for days on end. But one day, motorist Melissa Smith saw something strange. She couldn't believe her eyes as the woman got into a Mercedes-Benz. The woman's husband had picked her up, and they then proceeded to laugh while counting the money she just scammed from people. But believe it or not, this story gets even worse. As it turned out, being homeless wasn't the only thing this woman had been faking.
She picks up this big boulder about this big, goes over her head, so I don't know if pregnant people can do that, but it was pretty big.
The woman had been taking hundreds of dollars from generous people every day.
Is this she right there begging on the street? Yeah. That's not speaking. No speaking English?
But after this news report, the woman was never seen begging again, meaning that she likely either stopped or moved on to a new place. But a woman who tried an even more bizarre scam is this lady. One night in Moscow, Russia, a man was driving down a road. That's when a bizarre woman walks out in front of his car. Naturally, the man slows down and tries to ask the woman what's going on. But that's when the woman does this. Bizarrely lying down on the floor, the driver reverses, while an onlooker looks initially confused, but he soon realizes exactly what's going on. The woman is attempting an insurance scam. These scams are so common in Russia that 95% of drivers use dash cams, and luckily in this case, the driver was one of them, being able to use this video to prove his innocence. The scammer here was clearly shameless, but an even more manipulative scammer is this man. On the surface, this man seems like an army veteran. After all, he is wearing a military uniform, while at the same time asking motorists for donations. But his scam unravels when a real vet sees what he's doing and goes to confront the scammer.
You're obviously not a veteran. And you're wearing a veteran uniform out here telling people you're veterans asking for money?
Army veteran Garrett Goodwin hounds the man down, yelling at him to stop this very disrespectful scam. Within seconds, the fake veteran was revealed. What this man was doing was clearly wrong. Even if he did need money, stealing valor is unacceptable. After all, there are many real homeless and disabled veterans out there, and by faking it, this scammer is disrespecting every single one of them, tugging on people's heartstrings for donations, despite the fact that he has not made the sacrifices he claims. But an even more disrespectful scammer scammer is this man. Unlike most scams which are solo, this one involves his entire family. It was recorded in Pakistan. The family had been walking around collecting donations for their disabled father and husband. But after this family had spent the day collecting donations, they stopped for a moment. The man appears to rest, but then all of a sudden gets up and walks away. Suddenly, he's no longer disabled and is able to walk with his family just fine. This was only revealed thanks to surveillance footage. It caused an outrage in Pakistan, but it's not known if this family's identity was ever revealed. But some scammers aren't just regular people. Sometimes they can be people you trust. There had been reports that certain AC repairmen had been scamming customers, so the new show Inside Edition decided to test this. They disconnected one wire from an AC and called a repairman to see what he would say. But instead of simply reconnecting the wire, the repairman said this.
So there's a leak in the system. We're looking at about 1736.
Claiming that there was a microscopic leak and he would charge over $1,700 to fix it. When the news crew realized this repairman is a scammer, they confront him.
I'm Lisa Guerrero with Inside Edition, and we know that that air conditioning unit does not need all the repairs that you just told me it needed.
You can tell by the man's face that he knows what he did was wrong, immediately speeding off, leaving behind his tool bag. It is sad how many scammers are out there, but in a way, it also shows how many good and generous people there are. Hopefully these cases don't dissuade you from giving to the needy. You just need to be discerning, and make sure you're giving to people who are genuinely in need. This is the moment an evil police chief tries to escape his interrogation. Welcome back, Charlie here. Meet Grant Hardin, a police chief who has been arrested on suspicion of murder, but he's also hiding a secret so dark he's willing to do everything he possibly can to manipulate detectives and escape justice. On the 23rd of February 2017, James Appleton had pulled into a parking lot to take a phone call with his brother-in-law. That was when a white Chevrolet Malibu pulled up beside James's car. The driver of the Chevrolet fired one shot before speeding away. When a witness to this went to check on James, he was no longer alive. A cold, calculated hit. This took place in Gateway, Arkansas, a small town of around 400 people. The only person in town who owned a white Chevrolet Malibu was Grant Hardin, a 50-year-old police chief who had lived in Gateway his entire life. Later that night, Grant was driving his family back home after they'd had dinner at a restaurant. That was when his white Chevy was stopped at a police checkpoint. Grant was quickly taken to the police station he used to work at for questioning. But unfortunately for detectives, Grant's law enforcement background would make interrogating him incredibly difficult.
I'm Detective Chamberlain. I know we have James Chamberlain. Okay. I know. Did you used to be a police officer somewhere? Or I recognized you, but I wasn't 100% sure where I knew you from. But somebody said that you used to be a police officer in Gateway or something like that. Okay.
The detectives choose to not tell Grant why he's being questioned, and instead start things casually. Lead detective James Chamberlain begins by asking Grant about his career. As they're both cops, this is a good way to build rapport, and hopefully make Grant relaxed enough to open up and start talking. But remember, Grant has been a cop for decades. He's been on the other end of interrogations many times, and won't easily fall for Detective Chamberlain's fake friendliness.
You have the right to remain silent. Do you understand that? I need to affirm a yes or no. Okay.
Grant is then read his rights, and it's at this moment he decides to make things very difficult for the detectives.
I want to talk to you about what you've done today, okay? Can you just take me through when you woke up this morning to when you got stopped by the police out there in what's the name of that road that you're on? I'm sorry, I'm going drunk. Gant Ridge?
I'm not going to say anything after I've been read those rights yet.
Okay. Why don't you want to talk to me about your day?
I don't know what's going on. I am kind of sickly to what I'm here for and things.
Grant tells the detective.
You can tell. Look at his posture. Look at the way he's sitting. Look at the way he's. Man, come on, bro. You too tense. You know why you here. Come on, man. You've done this before.
He's staying silent. He also says he feels sickly as he hasn't been told why he's been brought in. He looks concerned and uncomfortable, likely because for the first time, he's the one being interrogated, not the other way around.
So you're telling me that you don't want to talk to me right now?
I'm going to remain silent.
Okay. Okay, cool. Hang tight right here for just a few minutes, okay?
Grant is staying silent, so the detectives do the second trick in their book, leaving the room for a few minutes. This does two things. It allows the detectives to plan on what to say next, and also gives Grant time alone to worry about what might be happening. But on the flip side, it also allows Grant to plan out his next moves.
By the way, I'm Detective Cordier. I think we've met once before.
Probably so. I don't know if I scared you at the beginning or what, but that's why I was trying to, and I can't, you see the position that I'm in. I can't tell you why you're here, but at the same time, I need to rule you out into something. I need to rule you out as a suspect in a crime that's been committed. And that's why we got you here, is because we need to talk to you, find out where you're at. Does that make sense?
When the detectives come back into the room, they try a different technique, telling Grant they merely want to rule him out of something. This calms many suspects and gets them talking, but Grant is all too familiar with these tricks, having used them himself for many years, and once again says he's staying silent.
Would you be willing to talk to me about your day, knowing that I need to rule you out of something, or like I'm at a loss here, and I need to clear you from something. And if you didn't do anything wrong today, you have nothing to worry about. And that's kind of where we're at.
Well, yes, I would have liked to, but before the rights were read. So not knowing what's going on.
Yeah, and you understand as a detective, we read those rights to everybody who comes in here. It's not just you.
Grant is doing what any lawyer would advise. By not answering any question, Grant avoids saying anything incriminating, and also stalls the investigation, giving him more time to come up with a story. And all of this is completely legal, which is why Detective Chamberlain is visibly annoyed.
Okay, so what happened today? Can you walk me through your day about what happened today?
I have to remain silent.
Okay.
On that.
Okay, so you're telling me you did do something today that was wrong then. I guess if it was me and I was, if I was in your position, I'd be like, hey, James, I did this. Or Grant, I did this. I was at, here, and here. And I would just be done with it. And that way you can get out of here. But at this point, I can't clear you from this because you could still potentially be a suspect. I know you were a police officer before, right? You're a police officer in Gateway? It's an easy yes or no.
I'm being silent.
Well, I can see that. We can do this all night. I mean, it doesn't bother me. You're going to continue to be a suspect until I find out otherwise.
Okay.
To regain composure, the detectives leave the room for another break. Now alone, Grant begins to look more concerned, and even tries to escape using a back door. But the door is locked. Grant then tries to talk his way out of the interrogation room.
Hello, I need to go.
You need to go where?
Home or get ready for work in a little bit.
Okay, we'll just have a seat and I'll get it for you.
Okay, well, I'm just ready to go.
Okay, and I'm not ready for you to go yet, so you're not going to be able to go. I've got other things that I'm doing right now.
I was going to go.
Oh, no, you're not going to go. Okay, yeah, no, you're not going to go.
Okay.
Perfect, thank you.
Normally under these circumstances, the suspect would be let go. After all, the interview isn't going anywhere, and the cops don't yet have enough evidence to charge Grant with any crime. But Detective Chamberlain tells Grant he can't leave. This allows cops time to gather more evidence, and speak to any witnesses who saw the crime take place. It also allows Detective Chamberlain to talk to Grant's wife, who, unlike Grant, does talk, saying that she wasn't sure where Grant was earlier that day.
Detective Cordier is talking to your wife right now. I talked to her a little bit, so I've kind of got a timeline of where you were and where you weren't today. I know you went to eat, out tonight. I know what you said at dinner. I know that you went to Lowe's afterwards. I know everything, but I don't know what caused the incident. I don't know. And if I don't know that, I've got to assume the worst. I'm not going to sit here and play games with you. I'm not. I know, you know. We have witnesses that put you there. The two cars that drove by. Look, man, I'm not... I just want to know why it happened. They physically ID'd you. I'm going to sleep good tonight, regardless of whether you want to talk to me and tell me what happened or not. I don't think you will.
The detective says he has a witness who can place Grant at the crime scene. Of course, the detective may simply be bluffing, but unfortunately for Grant, he's not. To make things even worse for Grant, the witness was a man named Andrew Tillman, a resident of Gateway, who had known Grant since he was a child. Grant knows the detective knows exactly what happened.
It's always mind-blowing. These are small towns, bro, where everybody knows everybody. I grew up in a little small town, and everybody knew everybody. So if you did something, by the time you did it, it was halfway around the town, bro. Like, the cops probably ain't even arrived on the scene and everybody in the town knew. So it's like, how do you think you're gonna escape something like that? It's just, huh?
But he also knows the only hope he has of getting away with this is to stay silent, and hope the detectives can't find the evidence they need. The detective then tries his third technique, bringing in Grant's wife and daughter to make him more emotional. But even this doesn't work. So instead, the other detective, Nakona Cordiero, takes over the interrogation. Male suspects are actually more likely to speak to a female detective, mainly because they view them as less intimidating and more understanding. She knows this is the last trick in the detective's book.
Man, I remember being on patrol and running into you one night. Help me out on a call, back me up.
Detective Cordiero begins by saying Grant apparently helped her on a case 3 years ago. This may not be true and Grant doesn't seem to remember it, but it will make Grant feel like Cordiero owes him a favor, and will thus be more understanding.
I mean, I know you probably slept in because you work nights. I work nights.
I'm just ready to go to bed.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Me too. Me too. And if we could do that, you just talk to me.
Well, I just have to. Since you read those rides, I have to stay. I have to do the ride.
Tell me. Like, let me help me help you. Like, I want to know what I can do or what happened today to be able to explain it later.
I don't know what happened today.
You know, people are going to have questions. Your family.
Well, I have questions.
Well, exactly. So why can't we figure this out together? Let me help you. You have to help me first.
Cordiero also builds rapport by saying that they both work nights, and she's tired just like Grant. She also uses very smart language, saying words like we, and phrases like I'm here to help you, hoping this inclusive language will help Grant to open up.
Do you watch anything good on TV? Usually that's what I do. I'd eat and watch TV. I'll woke myself up a little bit. Anything good?
Same old stuff.
Oh, yeah?
On TV.
You watch the same episodes? Or, like, do you have a specific TV show you would wake up and watch?
Well, we watched, I can't remember what it's called, right now, TV Land.
Oh, okay.
They begin talking about TV. This may seem totally irrelevant, but at last, Grant is actually talking. This makes Grant relax, and also makes him trust Cordiero more. But Cordiero takes it too far, telling Grant that she's here to help him.
I think you have a lot to live for. Beautiful family, who I've had the privilege of talking to. Who they love. You love them very much and they love you. But the way I look at it is you're a man. Men face their mistakes and they own up to them. Mm-hmm. And they figure out what happened and figure out how to solve it and move on.
Interesting approach, but why did she shift from what she was doing? I felt like what she was doing was working. The TV, like just starting to build some type of conversation and getting him to speak. Even his body language had changed and shifted a little bit. Like, I don't understand why she shifted to this route. It may work, but I just don't understand.
I'm honestly here to help you. I want you to understand that. I wouldn't spend my time in here with you if I didn't honestly think that you were a good person and that something happened today that needs to be explained.
Grant sees right through this lie and shuts down once again.
Did you make a mistake today? Don't you know why you're here?
Can I get a lawyer?
It's up to you.
but obviously something's going on and I need one.
After hours of interrogation, Grant finally decides he needs a lawyer, meaning the detectives have to end their interrogation. Grant stayed silent and went to trial, but after seeing all of the evidence against him, both Grant and his lawyer realized there was no way he was getting away with this. So Grant went on to plead guilty to first-degree murder, but in a very disrespectful move refused to reveal his motive, leaving James Appleton's family without closure. But as Grant's trial was going on, his darkest secret would be revealed, proving just how evil he really is. After Grant's DNA was taken, police were shocked to find it already in their system, linked to an unknown suspect for a crime committed 20 years ago. In November of 1997, an elementary school teacher had gone into the teacher's lounge bathroom. Waiting inside was a man with a firearm. The man made her go into a stool and then her, leaving behind DNA evidence. The teacher reported this crime, but the case went cold, until 20 years later when the DNA was matched to Grant, meaning Grant was given 2 separate sentences, 21 years in prison for murder and a further 14 years for Grant won't be eligible for parole until he's 85 years old, meaning that this evil police chief will likely spend the rest of his life in prison.